You are the firstborn son. From the time you could remember, your parents looked at you differently. They expected more. They assigned responsibility. They told you to take care of your siblings, to be the example, and to be strong. But here is the question: when did you last get to be weak? When did the permission to be a child, to make mistakes, to be selfish, or to just exist ever apply to you? The eldest boy in the family carries a burden that society celebrates, but psychology recognizes as a hidden cost. It is a quiet, heavy kind of weight that starts the moment you are old enough to hold a door open or watch your younger sister for an hour. So let's look at exactly how that weight shows up in your life. There are a few common patterns that firstborn sons deal with, and recognizing them is the first step to putting that backpack down. Number 1, you were the deputy parent before you were a teenager. Think back to those Saturday mornings or the long summer breaks. While other kids were just playing, you were often given a list of chores or told to keep an eye on everyone else. You were the first one to navigate the world for your family. You were the one who had to figure out the school system, the social rules, and the expectations of your father first. Because you were the prototype, your parents were often more strict with you. They were learning how to be parents through you, and that meant you bore the brunt of their anxieties and their trial and error. You became a buffer between your parents and your younger siblings, absorbing the tension so they could stay children for a little while longer. Number 2, your identity is tied to what you provide, not who you are. When you are the eldest son, the praise you get is almost always linked to your utility. People tell you that you are such a big help or that they do not know what they would do without you. This feels good at first, but it creates a dangerous internal script. You start to believe that your value as a human being is directly connected to your ability to solve problems and carry loads. If you're not fixing something, or helping someone, or leading the way, you feel invisible. You might notice this now in your adult life. Even when you are exhausted, you find it nearly impossible to sit still because staying still feels like failing your duty. You have been trained to believe that your rest is something you have to earn, rather than a basic human right. Number 3, you have a high threshold for pain and a low threshold for help. Because you were told to be the example, you learned early on that your own struggles were a distraction to the family unit. If you were crying, it meant your younger siblings might get scared. If you were struggling with school, it meant your parents had one more thing to worry about. So, you learned to swallow it. Psychologists see this often in firstborn men. You develop what they call a hyper-independent shell. You are the person everyone calls when their car breaks down or they need a loan. But you are the last person to tell anyone when your own world is falling apart. You feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness that you simply cannot afford. You have spent 20 or 30 years being the rock, and you are terrified that if you crack, the whole mountain will come down. Number 4, you struggle with a deep, irrational sense of guilt. This is perhaps the most painful part of the eldest son experience. You feel responsible for things that are completely out of your control. If your younger brother makes a bad life choice, a part of you feels like it was your fault for not guiding him better. If your parents are unhappy in their old age, you feel like you should be doing more to fix their lives. This guilt is a carryover from that early childhood training where you were told to set the tone for the household. It makes it very hard for you to set boundaries. When you try to say no to a family request or even a work project, that old voice in your head tells you that you are being selfish. You end up living your life for everyone else's comfort while your own needs stay at the bottom of the list. Number 5, your relationships often feel like projects. When you grow up as the protector and the provider, you naturally gravitate toward people who need protecting and providing. You might find that you attract partners who are in crisis or who need you to manage their lives. In your friendships, you are the one who plans the trips, pays the bill, and listens to everyone else's problems. It feels familiar, but it is also incredibly draining. You rarely experience the feeling of being taken care of yourself. You are so used to being the leader that you do not know how to be a partner. You are always looking ahead, scanning for threats and managing logistics, which means you are rarely ever present in the moment with the people you love. Number 6, you are prone to a very specific kind of burnout. It is not just work fatigue, it is responsibility fatigue. It is the feeling of having too many tabs open in your brain at once. You are thinking about your career goals, your parents' health, your siblings' success, and your own family's future. Because you were the firstborn, you feel like the CEO of the family legacy. This pressure can lead to a sudden, crashing exhaustion where you just want to disappear. You might find yourself dreaming of a life where nobody knows your name and nobody needs anything from you. That is not because you are a bad person. It is because you have been carrying a heavy backpack since you were 5 years old and your shoulders are finally starting to give out. Breaking free from this pattern does not mean you stop caring about your family. It means you stop being their emotional insurance policy. It starts with unlearning the idea that being the eldest means being the sacrifice. You have to give yourself the permission that nobody gave you when you were young, the permission to be mediocre sometimes, the permission to say, I do not know how to fix this. When you stop trying to be the perfect example, you actually give your siblings and your parents something better. You give them a real, honest human being. You are allowed to put the backpack down. You have already done enough. The path you were forced to walk as a boy does not have to be the one you follow for the rest of your life. You can finally stop leading everyone else and start following yourself.